Nice to meet you in person, kind of.
Yes, it is nice to finally meet you and talk to you face to face.
Before we get started, I have a little surprise for you.
Oh,
So we wanted to recognize just what we think are kind of above and beyond TLM users. And so we thought you might appreciate getting a little token of our appreciation in that way.
that's why he was looking at me like that. Oh, I'm so excited. I only have one polo, so I'm pumped. Now I can finally wear two.
Right. So congratulations. You qualify as one of our favorite TLM super users.
Super user status.
Super user status, yeah.
I'm keeping that and noting that on any future forms. I might put on my signature. I'm a super user of TLM.
Well, we wanted to recognize just how important it is to get the software in the hands of somebody who kind of understands that continuous improvement teamwork that we're trying to be all about. And we thought this would be a nice little gesture to recognize people who get it.
Thank you. Well, here I thought I kept asking you questions. I can always asking for more things. I was like, they're going to hate me in another couple months. So I love it.
Ironic, right? You get a whole prize for that.
Yeah, this is great. This is what I'm great at too. So I'm glad someone is like, oh no, this is great. Now stop asking questions, please.
Yeah.
So awesome.
It's
Thank
good.
you so much.
Yeah, it's good to find the pack that you run with.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe we just kind of run through a little timeline. It's been a year, pretty much almost, since we started all this. And in that time, I think we started with data import. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
And yes. What do you remember about that?
I remember that I started doing it the very tedious way, and then you told me that nope, there's a lot more simpler way, and then all of a sudden it was done, and it saved about 2 days worth of work.
Awesome. And I was looking through emails, and I think you might have kicked off the whole document quizzes project. Have you started using those?
We started to sample them on some of our quality engineers, and they do like that feature. Actually, speaking of continuous improvement, my one of our managers really wants me to be able to get that implemented on the web app. But right now, we're just mostly using it on our engineers to make sure that that works for them, and they like that, and making sure people are reading their documents and getting that validation that they understand what they got what they read as well.
Right.
But we haven't set it off on a mass scale yet. But that's another continuous improvement idea that we're pending on. Danielle really, one of our managers, really excited we have a program to develop people into different job functions and roles. And part of that is quizzes so we want to integrate it into using those professional development programs as well.
How was that experience, asking for something that you need and then bam, there it is?
Magic. I really, I can't stress how much it is that anytime a manager asks me something and I'll be like, well, TLM doesn't do that right now, but the lean machine, I'll use lean. I refer to TLM a lot here, but
we all do.
Yeah,
okay, good.
Yeah.
TLM doesn't do that right now, but they're excellent over there at, as soon as I ask them something, they're very quick to not only give me options and what we think would work best for our company, but I never have had to say no yet. I've gotten to develop something that we could use to work, and that has definitely allowed us to expand a lot more than if we have to bend to the software's will, whereas you guys make it very easy and accessible for the software to bend to what we already have in place and make that better.
Yeah, we're considering the motto that there's only one type of quality system, and that's yours.
I like it.
Right? I mean, that's kind of true, right?
It is true.
It is true, right? So
definitely a lot easier than to make something work with what you already have than to have to recreate all your procedures. And already changing a software is a big change to a lot of people, but not having to change the procedures that go along with that really has made it a lot easier to get everyone on board, because we have about almost 200 people in our company, and we have people from the floor level all the way up to the owners of the company using the software. for different purposes. And that simplicity, as well as the complexity of when we need it, and the simplicity of for those people who just need to read the documents, has been made my life a lot easier.
Are you guys using it across both locations now, or just yours?
Yeah, so we use it both at Plastikos Medical, and it's kind of the same company. We use the same quality management system. It's actually right down the road, but
And I think I just heard you say that document quizzes on the web app would be a good thing.
yeah, I've been meaning to ask you, but I was like, I can't ask for more things. Like, I gotta
Feeling
space
shy.
it out at least. I was like, Danielle, I already
Give
have a
the
wish
poor
list.
man a break, right?
I think it's
No,
really
we've had
important.
our eye on that as well. There's a few things. I've kind of let our development team have a little bit of a break because they are simultaneously, as we've been pushing out features in the web app, we've also been changing the technology stack of the web app to also lay the foundation for it being eventually more of a primary app as opposed to a companion. That's going to take a while, but there's some structural things going on, so it has the navigation of like a main app. So whether or not we or how we do that, it'll probably serve as a companion in the beginning, and then we'll see where it goes. So anyway, awesome.
That's actually I have another pro of you guys. Sorry, I deviated from your questions already.
No, you go right ahead.
But if you haven't picked up
Focus
yet,
is on you.
Yeah. As long as you're on a roll, you just keep on going there.
If you haven't picked up, I'm not a software engineer. I have actually pretty limited software. I'm pretty good in Excel, but that's about as far as my software knowledge goes. But I have not only learned a lot from this software, but you're excellent at explaining things in terms that I learned a lot. And also I understand what you're saying. You're not just throwing terms at me, and it's helped me not only understand how to use the software, but why the software works the way it does. And that's pretty neat, especially coming from someone who doesn't have that background, that you're able to convey that to me as well.
So it sounds like once there's some information about why it's doing what it's doing, you have this kind of like, the pieces fall together in the right way, and it kind of makes sense. Like, the method to the madness kind of clicks in, and all right, that's good to know, because the hardest thing is striking that balance between, everyone loves to throw around user friendliness, but the thing is that user friendliness is really just code for, wow, I've never seen the software before. Is it easy when I'm a beginner? Right.
Yep.
But if you're going to go the distance with something, like, you transition out of a beginner user stage pretty quickly, and you need the bells and whistles. You need stuff that like makes your life easier, and you got to put that stuff somewhere.
Yes, it is a very clear. I do like how our beginners are okay and they can figure it out pretty easily, but I don't have any loss of functionality now that I'm the TLM expert of my group, and it's pretty easy to find what I need now.
Right. So. And you probably keep finding new stuff you didn't know it did.
I do. It's pretty fun.
I still do. It's been 5 years for me.
I hate to admit it, but I forget what I did. It's like, oh, right there, I did that. Right. So tell me a little bit about how helpful it was to have kind of the trial on your computer, and what role that played in the beginning as you were, communicating what the software could do to to the stakeholders. What did that process look like?
Yeah, definitely. So Jeff was actually kind enough to give us a tutorial, but as you know, seeing someone else do it and looking at certain things, how they use it isn't really the same as how you could apply it to your system. So I was lucky enough to have it for a month before I presented to the owners. And in that time, I put in a couple employees, and I kind of built it to see if it would do the functions that I was looking for it to do, and to have that reassurance, as opposed to looking on a website that just says, oh, we do this, this, and this. Whereas I actually got to do this, this, and this, and see that, yep, I know it'll work. So not only did that give me the confidence that this is the software that I could use in our system, it also gave the owners confidence, because I actually remoted into my computer during the presentation and I was showing them how it would work, and that definitely gave them more confidence that, yeah, this is a system that we could use. Because honestly, like the other systems you see that are hundreds, you don't want to spend so much money on a software that you're like, oh no, we got this software and now I can't get it to work in the way that I want it to work. So having that confidence and reassurance, as well as being able to sell that, and I think them seeing our own people and our own processes and documents in there helped make them see that this is an option.
Right. And a low risk option. That's the important part.
Yes, it takes out the risk of online shopping for different softwares. Because how do you online shop for a software if you've never used it? It's very difficult, because I tried.
Yeah.
I remember one of the owners specifically said, he didn't say much during this meeting. There's 3 owners, and the one owner said, how long have you had this software? And I was like, oh, probably about 2 weeks or something at this point that I've been using it. And he was like, wow, you're really proficient at it. And I was like, I wouldn't say that's a reflection on my computer skills, but more that the software is pretty easy to figure out once you get the gist of it and the overall outline. So,
What are you guys using right now in module wise?
right now we have documents to read. The training we use quite frequently, which has been very nice, because previously we didn't have a way to train all of our employees simply. So that's been fantastic. And we are using, obviously, the employee input and data. And then I think my next step, we haven't gotten to the cars yet, which I mean, that's my next step in the quality. But getting all of our 200 users who are not all computer friendly and logged in was our first step. So I'm really excited that training is going to be a lot easier during audit season coming up.
Yeah.
Already only using 10% of TLM has made my life and our life as a quality team a lot easier. So I'm really excited to get to the rest of the 90% and see what else we can use for it.
Awesome. And I just thought of this. You also used some of our validation documents, right?
Yes.
And how did that work out with the testing and the video reference? Is that seemed like a relatively brisk way to go through the validation?
I think I made it a lot more complicated than it needed to be. Like, I was doing everything that I clicked. I was documenting it. But yes, it was very helpful having the videos to walk along with me, and then the documents showing me what all I did need to proofread and use out. So I did like that way. Maybe next time I won't record every click, but once I figure out the summary function, but the videos were extremely helpful in validating that, because I forget, just like you said, I forgot everything that I did and how I'm using it and all the different functions now that I'm not doing it every day. So I was like, oh man, I forgot, like, we are using it for this. So the videos were definitely a helpful reminder on all the ways that we are using it.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
Because I really do appreciate all your help in making this software everything that it is, especially integrating it into our company. It's made everything much more simple, especially when people hear quality, they usually like shy away, but you've made this as painless as possible. So
nice. That's great to hear. Awesome.
Fantastic.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. It was nice to meet you finally. Have a good one.
You too.